Hi, it's Evolution of Things, and I'm here to analyze, in detail, evolution of male badasses in action movies.
Check it out. I am the ultimate badass. Yeah. You do not want to fuck with me.
A lot has changed over the last 50 years. Are you curious about the 9 steps in this evolution? Please check it out. I have 2 rules. Only first-plan characters and not superheroes. I discuss sometimes a plot, so spoiler alert. You've been warned. I established 6 parameters to compare badasses.
What did you say? I said stick it in your ass.
I'll be back.
Can't put it out of my mind.
Every parameter measures both intensity and quality of trait in a given badass. So let's the analysis of male movie badasses begin! Harry Callahan. He appeared in 1971 in Dirty Harry. There was 5 Dirty Harry movies and last in 1988, so it was 17 years. But the man didn't change much. Maybe a few wrinkles here and there. He is a badass, but a bit too sure of himself. Why do I think so? Hey, in this scene, he doesn't take any cover, shouts halt to a man with a gun and waits for him to shoot first. What makes him a badass? Boldness. He kills people and is really angry all the time. He doesn't have to say anything to show it. His face is enough. He does what he wants and he is harsh. Harry arrests only if his magnum is out of bullets.
But Ian, this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off.
I really can't even imagine how a man can be more bold. And Dirty Harry likes to talk. And when he talks dirty.
To me, you're nothing but dog shit, you understand? And a lot of things can happen to dog shit. It can be scraped up with a shovel off the ground, it can dry up and blow away in the wind, or it can be stepped on and squashed.
It's pure insult to a tree. We have beautiful witty metaphors here, but Callahan has some nice tight one-liners like "Make my day" and this lovely poem about counting bullets.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5?
Yes, he likes to talk, but on today's standards it's a bit too long. Harry and badass style? Look at him here. Hey, he wears red sweater and patches on elbows. Hair? Maybe in 70s it was stylish, but I seriously doubt it. Body. Okay, he's tall and rather strong, but that's about it. Fitness? Look how he moves here. What is it? Nothing special. He is static. And body composition? Not really. Any skills? Yes, shooting. He shoots fast and loud. Deep emotions? No. In 70s, realistic emotions were not necessary for a badass. But at the same time, in early 70s, we have a man who changed the industry. Super-sized gun is not important for him. Even size is not important. Skill is important. A new approach to badassity focused on the body, skill to use it, and mental focus. Bruce Lee and his most famous character in Enter the Dragon, Mr. Lee. His physical fitness and body composition is unmatched. I know it has no sense, but it's Bruce Lee. One of the most perfect bodies in the history of cinema and sport. Purely functional. To these days, Perfection. Mr. Lee doesn't talk much. He had some one-liners too, but he was rather silent.
Or don't hit back.
Callahan is a blabbermouth when compared to Lee. Sometimes he doesn't speak and makes a move worth 100 of words. But everybody recognizes sound he makes while fighting. This is his most famous line. Mr. Lee is careful, always careful, not like Harry, who considers running unmanly and doesn't bow to bullets. Lee is always 100% focused on opponent. New approach, zero negligence, perfection, but he also believes in his skills as a fighter. When we look at Lee, we find he is very conservative and traditional in clothing. Style is not important here. He also doesn't show his emotions. It is unnatural for Western culture, so he is a bit like a machine, almost like T-800 from the Terminator.
You have offended my family, and you have offended the Shaolin Temple.
In my opinion, in 70s, only one character is worth mentioning after those two guys. No, not James Bond. Sean Connery and Roger Moore, badasses? No. Charles Bronson was Harry Callahan's poorer brother with moustache. No. The guy was Mad Max, and he appeared in Australia in 1979. Mad Max is angry. He is a vigilante, so he is bold, but it doesn't stick out. Physically, he shows nothing new in terms of fitness and body, but he is beautiful. His beauty is a new thing. Face like a baby. Additionally, he wears a leather jacket and leather gloves. Look at that! Isn't he gorgeous? He is first really beautiful, smooth badass, and he drives a badass car. He is first stylish badass. He is silent and cold. He doesn't enjoy killing people. He even leaves the choice to his final enemy.
It'll take you 10 minutes to hack through it with this. Now, if you're lucky, you could hack through your ankle in 5 minutes. Go.
You're mad, man!
Rough choice, but it was a choice. He is normal vigilante. I don't see much emotional depth in him. He doesn't possess any particular skills. He is a good driver and he shoots rather well, but that's all. Mad Max has a beautiful face and he is stylish. And that makes his character a new step in badass evolution. A new tiny step in badass evolution. Okay, so we entered 80s. I think 80s is the best decade for badassity in history. We begin with new wave of badasses. 1982, John Rambo. Badass who combined physical fitness and body composition, and it is showed all the time.
Oh, Christ.
He is elite soldier, focused and cold. But there is also another new thing. John Rambo is humble. I think no one before him was so humble. I love him for that. He has some deep scars inside. He was betrayed by his own country, but he stays humble. He is pushed.
Is there any law against me getting something here?
Yeah, me.
And pushed.
Get your legs back. Get them back!
And pushed. And pushed and pushed more. We all want him to beat those cops, but he doesn't. He just takes more and more and more. He would suffer it all in silence and end it in jail, but he loses sanity for a while because of his trauma in Vietnam, and after that there is no return. He knows that and he has to run. And he runs. He wants to disappear. He is hunted like animal, but he is a predator there. And he mercifully gives another chance to all of them. But some people never learn.
Let it go. Let it go.
If Rambo was Dirty Harry, in this scene he would be like, I was in Vietnam and I'm cold. I have big knife and my knife is sharp and has a little handy saw in it. And you are like chicken. Chickens can be eaten or run over by train, blah blah blah. But all he says is, let it go. Just let it go. He starts to use words like bullets, and I like that. It's badass. Here, in Rambo, we have some deep, true badass emotions for the first time. He cries when he spits this all out. He can be beaten, but he always stands up. He is so human. There is no style. Even Harry Callahan in a red jumper had more style. John Rambo wears all the rags or nothing. Next badass character appears in 1984. It's T-800. He's not a human being, okay, I get it. But this film started on a big scale, new trend in showing body. Now there is a new parameter, size of muscle, and I have to mention it. Physical fitness decreased, functionality decreased, muscles became important. Badasses became intimidating only by showing themselves. Skills and boldness and emotions don't apply here. His words are 100% functional. He doesn't want to intimidate by speaking. He wants results. He moves and talks robotically all the time. He has some great one-liners though.
I'll be back.
Okay, I know, he's a machine, but badass machine, and many traits will be transferred to humans in countless movies after the Terminator. Then, in 1988, we got another turn in badass history. John Mcclane in Die Hard. Normal-looking man in unpleasant situation. He is well built, but nothing extraordinary. But there is a few new things. It's first badass who is really beaten up.
What kind of odds am I getting?
You don't want to know.
Put me down for 20.
He escapes. And he's first who barely wins his fights, but he's cheerful and makes sick jokes all the time.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
His boldness is in his words, rather than in action. When he jumps off the roof, he doesn't know whether it will work.
John, what the fuck are you doing? How the fuck did you get into this shit?
He tricks enemies several times instead of using brute force. He is smart, and that's also a new thing.
For the love... Slowly.
Improvisation became a part of badassity. Emotional death? Not really, but he seems so real.
Please don't let me die.
And vulnerable. He's a normal guy, and he is learning.
Next time someone, don't hesitate.
There is little style in him. John Mcclane likes to joke, he makes jokes all the time, even if he is in pain and he fears for his life.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
No fucking shit, lady! Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
Sorry, Hans, wrong guess. Would you like to go for double jeopardy where the scores can really change? These are very bad. Oops. No bullets. You think I'm fucking stupid, Hans?
His badacity is mainly in his sense of humor, improvisation, and his inability to die. In the same year, 1988, we have Frank Dukes in Bloodsport. I'll never forget this, and how can anybody forget this? And here I would like to share a story with you. Frank Dukes was the first action movie badass I saw. I was 8 years old when I saw it on VHS tape, and I saw it like 153 times. I know every scene to this day. And I even remember that the first film on this tape was American Ninja, and then was Bloodsport, and after that a few minutes of horror called The Rats. There was no anti-piracy law back then in Poland, so people were borrowing tapes from neighbors. And because of this scene, I learned how to do splits in 2 weeks, which is insane. Okay, back to Frank Dukes. He is bold, he believes in his fighting skills and reflexes. For example, he gambles with a coin for a girl.
Go. Ha! You lose, American asshole.
Looks like she's mine. Now leave the lady alone. You understand that?
He runs from cops all the time and risks his life for his teacher. But Jean-Claude Van Damme is simply not a good actor, especially back then. Just try to find anger in his voice.
You're not even trying to understand what this means to us, are you? Just answer the question.
Even his motivation sounds really fake.
Well, I'm just trying to be the best I can be. Not just for me, for Tanaka and my Shidoshi too.
And this romance with this woman with oversized hairdo. Christ, one night and she's already his wife.
Great, Frank. That's just great. Go right ahead.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was excellent martial artist, but poor actor back then, and it shows. Skills, fighting and brick powdering. And by the way, there we have this cool Enter the Dragon reference.
Very good. But brick, not hit back.
Style, he is shirtless most of the time, so... But... look at his pants here.
Thanks. Big.
I'm not an expert, but isn't it way too high? Okay, but he tries. For many, Frank Dukes is a niche badass, but I think it is westernized Bruce Lee. After him there was no more Bruce Lee type badasses. There is nothing really new in him. It's rather interesting combination of all things. He's like Bruce Lee with more muscles and pretty face. Then we have 1991 and Terminator 2. I know it is a machine, guys, I remember, but now it is humanized T-800. It takes all badacity from the first Terminator, mainly its body, and adds emotions and style. They want us to love T-800. It's the same machine, but now we can believe that it feels something. And now Terminator is stylish.
Before I met you, I'll break 1,000 more, baby. Before I am through, I wanna be yours, pretty baby. Yours and yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad for
Remember, in the first Terminator, glasses covered his damaged eye. And now it is only to look badass. The whole clothing scene is also badass like hell. I can watch it every day. Now, Terminator has emotions, humor and style. He plays with guns, he even tries to smile. He's likable. He even can be loved.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do.
And he knows what's good. Body and skills are maxed out. Speech is better.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And boldness is not applicable because he's a machine. And we had to wait another 8 long years to see another badass evolution step. It was Neo from Matrix. Neo's badassity is different because it is mainly based on style and looks. Just look at him.
Holy shit!
Yes, holy shit. He's simply beautiful, but he's also badass. Beautiful, badass with powerful mind. Body composition average, but he has superhuman fitness. He has something from John Mcclane. His stubbornness. He is beaten, but he stands up. I love the moment he's shaking off dirt from his pullover. Yes, that was badass. Neo returns to silence and carefully chosen words. It adds to badassity of his character, I think. And there's another new thing. Neo is dynamic. He transforms from Mr. Anderson to the Chosen One. He learns through the whole movie and becomes Neo at the end. At the beginning, he is afraid to make a simple step. Then he wants to fight.
Run. What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
He's getting better in fighting. And eventually becomes Neo. Neo is not bold, he is careful. For example, he yells help to Trinity before dodging bullets.
Trinity! Help!
He doubts in himself all the time. Emotional depth? No deep emotions in him. Moreover, I don't find his romance with Trinity convincing, and this resurrection scene by a kiss is, from my point of view, the weakest logical moment of the movie. The guy was dead and she resurrected him like Prince in fairy tale. But these thoughts came after analysis. I remember that in cinema my jaw was on the floor all the time, and I would accept Pink Unicorns resurrecting Neo in this scene without a blink. Next step is 2004 Vincent in Collateral. It's not very well known movie, but for me, clearly a next step in badass evolution. Nothing special about body and fitness. But he has style and strange code of conduct, weird internal rules when working. Vincent is a cold murderer, okay.
That my briefcase?
Is it your briefcase? Yeah, it is. Why, you want it back?
About your wallet. What else you got for me?
Huh?
But he is so badass. He's not a good man, but strangely, he's human. As movie progresses, we can see human being in him. He allows his driver to see his mother, he gives a chance to one of his targets, he asks him a question, but the answer was wrong. He plays by strange rules, that's true, but he is honest. There are no one-liners here. Vincent is 100% professional and doesn't talk to camera.
Next! I do this for a living!
He is not bold, sure, of his skills, but not bold. And he has a badass death. I think he feels he deserved that. And he's a bit relieved. No explosions. His head simply came down to his chest.
Think anybody will notice?
He wanted that, and I love the way he died. Sequels impossible, and Vincent will be one and only, forever. Nothing remarkable happened to 2014, and don't get me wrong, great movies were made, but no clear step in badass evolution was made. Remarkable is the fact that various non-badass characters became badass. James Bond became a badass in Casino Royale, he became human, he's bleeding like a normal man. He gets drunk after drinking alcohol and he throws sentences like a man.
I've got a little itch. Down there. Would you mind?
No! To the right! To the right! Ethan Hunt became more badass with his ridiculous skills. Bourne was born, but in my opinion, new step was not made, partly because the Hollywood went to sequels and more popular superhero movies. Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, Hulk and countless others. All badasses had crises. Some of them even died out. And then 10 years passed and a new type of badass appeared in 2014, John Wick. He was physically fit, But he didn't show naked body and muscle. He's rather lean, not muscled, and that's Wick quick answer to muscles. There's no nudity. Only one scene under shower which shows nothing but his tattoos. Body is functional. He has all skills of a killer. He can drive and shoot at the same time. His gunplay looks extremely real, that's new. He's bold and confident to the extreme. Look at this. Who makes threats in this situation?
Step aside. Give me your son. John Wick.
Strapped to a chair without a gun. He speaks to the point, there are no one-liners and showing off from his side. He took it from Vincent, and I think it is better that one-liners taking emotion away. That's what he says when he takes his revenge. Isn't it better that even the best one-liner? When his wife dies, he suffers in silence. He has emotions, we can see it. But there is no time to properly show it and develop this character. It's a pity. He lacks emotional depth. He exists to wreak havoc, and he does it really well. But at the same time, he can be wounded, and it makes him more human being.
My hope.
To be honest, at the beginning I thought Keanu is a little stiff, a bit not in this movie, but I was wrong. He is Wick, and Wick is him from now. And of course, he has style. He looks, moves and fights with style. So it is almost the ultimate badass. Era of muscle, power and blabbing ended. Style, skill, boldness, improvisation will prevail. Wick was the last step of badasses, in my opinion. Nothing new happened to this day. And of course, it's my opinion. I know a lot of people treat their favorite badasses like a family, so remember, it's just my opinion and I will gladly read yours in comments. If you like evolution videos, please subscribe.